back to episode 2 for us of the All Arsenal show. It's been a busy couple of days, hasn't it? There's a couple of familiar faces in the top line of your screen here tonight, and a couple of debuts for this show as well. So we'll get straight into it. Bez, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. So thank you.
Good. And Brett joining us from the States. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, G. Good to see you.
No worries at all. It's great to see you. And a complete new face for us on our shows. David, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for inviting me on. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you for a while, so yeah.
It's normally in the pub, isn't it, with us?
Normally in the pub, yeah.
No, it's lovely to see you. And obviously, co-host Last. How are you, Liam?
Yeah, good evening, Jay. Yep, I'm all good. Thank you very much.
Good.
Just recovering from obviously a late night last night.
Yes, absolutely. And everyone in the chat, if you are here already, do feel free to say hello. I don't know if anyone's tuned in just yet. Have they, Liam?
Yep. So we'll just say some quick good evenings. Obviously, good evening to BX Gunner, 81. How you doing, mate? Obviously he's out in the States as well. Good evening to Stefan. Loving the intro. Good. That's good to hear, Stefan, and Jones here as well. But obviously, a lot of gratitude has got to go to Jonesy for obviously setting up that excellent picture. So thank you very much, mate. Old Scotty's in the house. Yeah, there's always one lingering around, isn't there?
There's always one.
Mate?
What a rat!
Block it.
We'll get cracking and back over to you, G.
Brilliant. Yeah, well, thank you everyone in the chat, and do keep it going. Also, if you do have any questions throughout the show, please feel free to chuck them in there. We'll get through them. We like to interact with you as much as possible. So, or any other topics maybe that we haven't talked about, something we've missed, chuck it in there as well, and we'll bring it up. So I think we'll just go straight into it, won't we, with the starting lineup from last night. Probably not much of a surprise to see that it stayed the same, really. Bez, what did you think when you saw the lineup?
Nothing much surprised me, but I just wish. I mean, as you know, technically, I would have wished if he started Trossard in that one. But hey, I'm picking the cherries off the tree for too much there, because I feel like Martin had a cracking game, but I just do feel like Trossard has to be in that fold now and there, on and off.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was great to see another big win, shall we say? Another big win.
It's lovely stuff. And David, what did you make of the team last night, and obviously being consistent for the last couple of games as well?
Yeah, it was the same team from the Newcastle game, wasn't it? I was surprised Jorginho played. I thought that maybe they would have saved him for probably, because I don't think he's got 2 games a week in him anymore. But I might be wrong. But I would have thought maybe Trossard would have played, and Rice would have played his position. Trossard would have played like number 8. But Jorginho is on a good little run at the moment, so if he can, that's fine.
Yeah. And Brett, were you happy to see the same team, or were we expecting any changes?
No surprises for me, but I do agree with David. I could have seen Trossard come in for Jorginho, but I can see why he's played that lineup. It's they've been cracking. They're really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Liam, is there any different from you? I know we were kind of talking last week saying that we would probably prefer the same team at the moment to keep the consistency. Is that what you think we're going with at the moment, and just keeping the momentum as much as we can, despite it being the likes of Sheffield last night?
Yeah, well, I think the team pretty much picked itself, didn't it? When you beat Newcastle 4-1 as convincingly as we did, I just don't think no one deserves to be dropped out of that team. And I think as well, like moving forwards, I think we've got to be realistic about the players that are coming back in Jesus' party. They're nowhere near to the level of fitness at the moment as what these guys are. So we do need to be patient. We don't need to be expecting too much too soon in terms of minutes-wise out of them. But if we continue to do what we're going to do, then do you know what? These guys will get on after 60 minutes, because it's pretty scary, the performances they're performing at the moment. And I'm sure we're going to go right into it. But for me, it pretty much had to be the same team.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you all there. And as well, just as we've got it up on the screen, I'm not sure how easy everyone could read the subs, but it was really nice to see a couple of names returning for the first time in a little while. Des, we'll start with you. Thomas Partey, what was it like to see him back in the team sheet?
It was beautiful sight. I mean, as Liam is saying, it's good to use what we have, and also as well not to rush any of the returnees because it's not. It won't affect the morale. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like keep the same flow. Don't get complacent. As I said, keep one game at a time. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it. Let's keep. Can I say that? Let's keep it a structure without getting ahead of ourselves. In this business end of the season now.
Exactly. And then David, how much do you think this will help us going forward, that these players seem to now hopefully be returning at such an important and crucial part of the season?
It's massive. If we are going to challenge for the title and even the Champions League, we need a full squad. That's why I thought we didn't win the league last year. Obviously, we lost Tomiyasu. Do you remember? I think he got injured in the Europa League game, was it? Or I know Saliba got injured as well, didn't he, in the Europa League game? And then, funny enough, last year, I always said the whole of last season, if we're going to win the league, we need Partey fit. But then actually, he was the one last year at the back end who wasn't playing well. But yeah, we definitely need a full strength squad and obviously a bench. Bit weak on the sus bench yesterday. Defenders, we didn't have really any defenders really. Obviously, because Shevchenko's still out and obviously Tommy. But it's good to see Partey back. I don't know if anyone else noticed. Did anyone else hear him squeaking when he was running around? Because I'm thinking he's oiling because he's very rusty.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's rusty. But that's going to happen in a way. I don't think he's played since October. So
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but no.
That's right.
Yeah.
October. Wow.
And you could kind of see it a little bit as well, couldn't you, when he came on?
Yeah, he gave it away. Was it? And he gave it all away once, and then he totally missed it. I think second near the end. I mean, we were winning 6-0 anyway. So, but it's gonna. Yeah.
And Brett, just touching on what David said there as well in regards to the defenders. It seems that the same twos are missing quite a lot, and these other players were getting a boost of them returning back in training, but we're still yet to see Tomiyasu and Zinchenko. Do you think that's a bit of a worry?
Well, I'm not sure if it's a worry or it's just where the heck are they? I mean, they're MIA at the moment, especially Tomiyasu. Didn't he play an entire Asian Cup with Japan? Yeah. And he's come back, and I understand he probably needs a break a little bit, but we haven't even seen him around the team. So that is kind of a little bit worrisome, but I can see probably that I'm sure they're in training at some point, either by themselves or away from the team. And I think we'll see them by the end of the month, fully fit, hopefully, because that's what David said. We definitely need the entire squad. If Partey can stay healthy, he definitely need. I do agree with David as well. He definitely needed a little bit of oil to get the squeaky wheels going. But what I really loved is the look on his face when he came on. He had a smile from ear to ear, and then the away fans cheered him onto the pitch, and it was great to see. So hopefully he can stay healthy for this run in, and he'll get more and more minutes as he gets more match fit. Yeah,
absolutely agree. Liam, you want to talk us through the picture you've whacked on the screen there?
Yeah, they just looked they just look a different animal, don't they now? When you look at when you're Sheffield United, you're in a tunnel, you see them, and it's not just the picture, is it? It's the physique of our players now. Like we've gone through quite a lot of years, haven't we, with more smaller technical players. But yeah, we've got when you start looking at this team and start looking at what the team Arteta's built, and in terms of the stature of the size of the player as well, I think I'd be daunted looking at these guys. But they just look totally motivated and totally confident again, don't they? And it's incredible, what a trip to Dubai can actually do.
Yeah, we can all get to Dubai, I think. I think there should be another trip incoming as well. But yeah, it's good to see, isn't it? Because as you say, for so long we've maybe not had any sort of fear factor about us. And sometimes you see it in the tunnel. They're all a bit pally with each other, aren't they? You know, if they're from the same country or have known each other, they're friends. Sometimes, especially in bigger games, you don't want to see them even acknowledging. I don't know about you guys, but I'd just like, no, focus on the game, shake your hand after. So to see them looking fierce like that, and I think there was also a video of Raya sort of winking to the camera as well in the tunnel. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Yeah, it's just before that, I think. It's literally just before that.
Nice. Mackenzie's in the chat, I think. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'll delete that out last. Well, let me go back to her last message for you.
Yeah, so she has put in, I think Trossard will play against Brentford and have Jorginho then come back in against Porto. Yeah, that's a pretty good shout, to be fair, isn't it? We'll get into discussing Brentford a little bit later on, but thanks for the comment. Yeah, Kiwior has been amazing. I completely agree. You feel like he's sort of changed from a boy to a man in these last couple of games. Bez, would you sort of say the same? You've been impressed with him?
Totally agreed. As I said in the last week with you guys, it feels like as much as I love Zinchenko, Kiwior can simply defend when he wants to, attack when he wants to. But what made me more happy last night, don't get me wrong, how now they let Ben White come to the fray, like the way they linked up and they used Havertz as a pinball, and I just felt like, wow, this is a beautiful sight. How you have a defensive player who comes out of nowhere, surprises their defense, and he just comes in, gets in the box, and scores a nice goal to boot as well.
Yeah.
I mean, about that guy, come on, he's cooking, man. What can I say?
Absolutely. And David, seeing as you haven't been on with us before, what are your thoughts on Kiwior?
He's improved the games he's played, but and I do think that might be why Martinelli's form's improved, because he's got Kiwior behind him instead of having Shevchenko all the way everywhere else. But I think there's bigger tests to come. Obviously, there's Man City coming up. We've got the other games, Wolves, Brighton. But so far, yeah, he's been pretty much faultless, really. So it's nice to see.
Yeah,
and he needs a run. All players need a run, don't they? So, and we can't just keep letting come on for 10 minutes each game when we're trying to just get over the line, or letting come in, then out again, come in, out again. It just doesn't do no favours. So he's definitely better defensively than Shevchenko. Yeah. But obviously, Shevchenko is a lot better in his other game when he's basically playing in the middle of the park in that.
Yeah, and that's fair. Do you think also, as well, the confidence that's running through the team has helped him settle in a lot quicker than maybe he could have if he was playing before Christmas?
Definitely, 100%. I mean, it feels like, right, since they come back from Dubai, it's like playing FIFA, right? It's you're on like world class level, because I don't play it like I used to because it's too hard for me, and it feels like now Arsenal have put it on amateur level, and now we're just ruining teams, just smashing teams up. So I hope it continues. But yeah, it definitely it's definitely helping him. He can't bring a player like that into a team of not doing well, because he's just not going to work. So but yeah, he's in a team who are just smashing everyone at the moment. So good.
Yeah. Ryan there, thank God for the Chelsea collapse these last 18 months, which has allowed us to bring in Declan, possibly. But I think we've Arteta's been a huge factor in bringing in Rice, to be fair. I don't think it's just down to Chelsea not being as good anymore. Brett, what have you made of Declan Rice?
Wow. I mean, what can you
say?
Exactly. How can $105 million be a bargain? It's just, he's been everything and more than that we could have expected. He came in with a lot of, obviously the $100 million purchase or pound purchase. He came in with a lot of expectations and a lot of pressure, and it looks like he's been in the team for years. He's just, and he's playing a new position. I think he's saying he's still learning the number 6. He's still, so if he's just learning and he's not, the best is yet to come. Unbelievable. He's just been, he's just been a revelation. And Mackenzie and I had talked many times about just watching him just in the middle of the pitch, just rule everything. So
yeah, I think the love is spread for him through everyone.
Yeah.
A good comment there. Our defenders have scored 11 Premier League goals between them this season. Liverpool's have scored 6, and Man City's only 5. What do you make of that, Liam?
It's an incredible stat, isn't it? But I think that a lot of that credit has to go to obviously the set piece coach. Yesterday was probably one of our worst games in terms of set corners for quite a number of games. But like, we are breaking teams down now from corners as well. And I always said, like, when we was in that barren spell, that barren run, set pieces could prove to be vital for us, because when you've got a team that do play a low block, like many teams do, and obviously you are struggling to break them down. I've noticed in quite a number of our games, especially over the last month, that the first goal's been a set piece, and then that opens the game up more. So it's really, really important that we continue to obviously do well from kind of set pieces because of the way teams are playing against us. But I'm not surprised because you've got Gabriel in defence, and he must have about 5 or 6 alone. He's just incredible, isn't he, from set pieces and corners? And like, if there's one boat you want at the end of that opportunity from a set piece, it's him.
Absolutely, yeah. And another stat, I don't know if you guys have seen it popping up since yesterday, and we don't think too much into it, but since 2024 has begun, we have scored 31 goals in comparison to Man United's all season so far have scored 37. Bez, what do you make of that after the Dubai break? And I think something before we went away and had that, we were really struggling. We were creating, but we weren't putting it in the back of the net. So how great is it that now we seem to be goals flowing?
Well, first of all, this Dubai trips, has completely rejuvenated the whole squad all around, bar none. For Marcy is like the way we went at the end of last year wasn't the greatest thing, as as a football fan overall. But to see this Dubai trip come back, as you say, 30+1 goals, 7 games won in the bounce, not conceding many, scoring a lot. It's been a great sight. It makes me think, where's this being, locked up? For me as well. I'm in awe, to see this team silence critics, silence the media, silence, the certain fan bases around who clearly are a bit envious of us. You can see that. Everyone's going to be crazy. But to be honest with you, as we know, with us, class is permanent. And let's keep it up and long may continue. It looks wonderful to be an Arsenal fan right now. Even the ladies, which we'll get back on, obviously, to that shortly. But it just feels a whole all-around Arsenal family is feel-good factor all around, It's great to see. It's just refreshing for a change.
Absolutely. Liam.
Please do not celebrate or even congratulate any member of the team. The man is him himself. He's trying to keep order. No celebrating, please.
You won't find any here. Thank you for tuning in, and just a quick hello to Russ and Ian as well. Lovely to see you in here. As always, just keep the chat going. Any questions, as I said before, ping them across to us. And also, just before we start getting into the goals of the game, let us know which one was your favourite, so we can, as we go through it, we'll see them all pop up. So let's get started. 5 minutes in, 1-0, Odegaard. David, what did you make of that run of play, and were you surprised that it came so quickly in this game as well?
No, not really. I thought if we started quick, then we could literally be 3 or 4-0 up by half time, to be honest. And we did start well, didn't we? Because Saka had that chance when he hit the woodwork, didn't he? And then, yeah, it was a good move. Obviously, he was unmarked, wasn't he? And just an easy finish, really. Typical Odegaard kind of finish. And it was a good goal. We're really pleased with the goal so early in the game.
Absolutely. Big hello to our friend Gordon.
He said he was coming on
in the chat. Rice has been amazing. Better player than I thought he was. Best midfielder since Patrick. Also, big shout out for Kai Havertz. Yeah, I think we're all on that page as well, aren't we, at the moment?
Yeah.
And Catherine is in here. Hello, nice to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining us. So Brett, with the, as we mentioned there, a bit of an early start as well, and what was it, about 10 minutes later, Saka, an absolutely brilliant bit of skill, took on 2 Sheffield United players, ran it down to the wing, crossed it in, and an own goal.
Yeah, exactly. I could have used those points for my fantasy team yesterday. That was the difference between me winning and losing one of my cup matches. So, but I mean, you could see how the defender was playing him to go left, and Saka just goes, nope, I'm going right. And if he can start going to both sides, he becomes that much better of a player, and he becomes unguardable because, you know, if he can shoot with both his left and right foot, I mean, he's going to be. I mean, he's already world class, but he's going to be even that much better. Yeah, if that ball doesn't go off a defender, I think somebody grabs it at the end at the far post, and it's in. So I mean, it was just great piece of work.
Absolutely. And Liam, coming to you for 2 minutes later. Martinelli gets on the score sheet to give us 3-0 in 15 minutes. What were you thinking at this point? So I know you were on a stream, weren't you?
Yeah, I didn't want to get too carried away before the game. Like, let's be frankly honest. I think we knew we was going to beat Sheffield United, even before balls kicked. I think they knew it even before balls kicked. But you don't expect that to happen in the first 15, 20 minutes. And I know that obviously our mate Jamie Carragher was pretty ruthless and critical yet again on Liverpool. But this ain't the only team we've done it to. Like, look at Newcastle at the Emirates in that first half. They didn't get out of their own box. Start giving us a lot more credit in terms of the way we're playing, because we are absolutely suffocating and bullying teams. And yeah, Sheffield United are not up to the level, but we still got to go out there and do it. We still got to go out there and be professional and continue to play our game. And we did that. And it was, I think it was quite humiliating for Sheffield United to see a fan base walk out after 15 minutes. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it whatsoever. I'd say I like to think I wouldn't do it. I remember being 3-0 down at Man City in the snow, and I stayed to the very end, so I wouldn't do it. But yeah, it was a very embarrassing night for Sheffield United. But I just knew after that we went 3-0 up. That weren't it in the first half, because we had literally pinned them to their own 30 yards, and he was looking at it. It was like Saliba and Gabriel playing like attacking midfield roles. It was that literally that suffocating, and it's like your goalkeeper's playing centre back, which is unbelievable to watch, isn't it? And I just hope that we continue to play this way. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the games will be like over the next couple of games with Brentford and Porto at home. But yeah, I just thought we was absolutely sensational, and I think Sheffield United did get a lot of critics about it, but I think we need to be absolutely applauded for the way we went out there and done the job.
Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes you hear them say, oh, well, it was because this team was so poor. But I think they were so poor, but we were also rising to the challenge. And some of the football that like the one-touch passing we were doing, and even the balls Odegaard was playing through, you think it's going through 3 Sheffield United players, but it's still reaching an Arsenal player on the edge of the box. Bez, what did you make of the way we played yesterday?
Completely sublime. I mean, we have to just do our bit. We play the perfect, attractive football. We don't let heads drop in terms of, momentum-wise. If I'm correctly speaking, again, I know we had a big win again. No yellow cards. No one from our side doing anything stupid when you have such a big lead. That really, I mean, for me, that goes unnoticed from this so-called media who loves to pinpoint the negativity towards us.
Yeah.
I'm happy all around how we turned around, completely in 2 months period. This Dubai trip, again, as I'm repeating myself, has literally revisionated the whole squad, left and right and center. Sorry, I need to forget everyone's name. As Liam's saying, I think we can play a goalkeeper as a centre back. Honestly, we can just throw him there, say, look, come for the corner. If we're like up 5-0 up, just tell him, or well, whoever it might be, just come up, try and make a goal yourself. And everyone was just celebrating as a unit. You know, it feels great to be an Arsenal fan once again. It feels that the good times are back. It feels like we're there. But please, whoever again is watching this, including myself, I'm not celebrating fully just yet, but of course I'm happy to see us do well. But also at the same time, it's good to rub in salt in some other fan bases who mistreated us, you know, for years gone by, you know. So I'm happy to see us deliver that, you know, how can I say, this site that's is attractive football, whoever we're playing. But again, we're doing away from home, which it's never been a good form in recent years gone by. But right now, please keep it up. But let's not please get complacent. That's what I can say again.
Yeah, absolutely. And David, just going into the 25th minute now, 4-0 comes up, and a really lovely finish from Kai Havertz, to be fair. What did you make of his performance yesterday and his goal?
I thought he was probably 9 out of 10 yesterday. I think he was brilliant yesterday. Probably made one of his best matches. His goal was fantastic. There's probably his best goal he scored so far, because a lot of his other goals have been a bit scrappy, but he literally just smashed it, and it's just a great strike. Probably my favourite goal of the match. So yeah, and he was just everywhere yesterday, not just a goal. So yeah, I thought he was definitely my man in the match.
Nice. And then coming to you for this one, Brett, because we were talking about Declan Rice earlier on. Another goal for him as well. Right place, right time. Tucked it in, similar to Odegaard's first goal as well, wasn't it?
It was, and you know, and I'm struggling actually to see it in my. We scored so many goals yesterday in the first half. I'm struggling to find it in my memory. It was I mean, just now I can remember. Yeah, no, he just ball was there. He put it in. You know, it was just a technical, terrific technical piece of skill. You know, we're just hitting. You know, before when we were putting balls past the post, off the post. Now we're putting them in the corners. Like David just said, he keeps on stealing my thunder. Actually, that Kai Havertz goal was technically his best goal I've seen him. I mean, to put that ball where he put it, you know, it was nobody stops it. Everybody is hitting on all cylinders, and it's really, you know, it's an amazing thing to have a really hard decision on who the player of the match is, man of the match is. You could have gone with 5 or 6 different players yesterday. I personally went with Odegaard. I thought he was just absolutely incredible. But you could have given it to Havertz, could have given it to Rice, could have given it to any, you know, actually Martinelli was terrific too. He should have scored 2. That would have been the goal of the year, I think, if that had gone in. If it hadn't been saved off the line. Yeah, I agree. Liam, 5-0 at half time. Almost a record. But from our point of view, I mean, I think we were saying as well last week, I was definitely saying that as much as we want that kind of score to happen, sometimes you know that after half time, that it's a completely different game, isn't it? And we weren't expecting to come out and score another 5 in the second half. What did you make of the first half performance overall? And were you expecting more in the second half, or were you expecting it to be as it was?
No, I didn't expect us to continue that for 90 minutes. What I expect is what we had. Obviously, Saka went off. But apparently he was sick, which, do you know what, the game's over. He's not feeling well. Just get him off. I would have tried to got Martinelli off. I'm being totally on the show. And I was saying on the show, you probably listened in. I was worried because Martinelli's the guy who can beat someone and beat someone again and beat someone again. And you could see that they were being reckless against him. And that was my worry. And I know the injury didn't really come from that, but I was kind of calling that maybe we should get him off after about 55 minutes anyway, because the game was done. And then when you got players like Partey, Vieira, Jesus coming on, they're not fully match fit at the moment, are they? So it was just about getting them on, getting some minutes. Obviously, it's a little bit frustrating because obviously you've seen that dominate first half display, and you're thinking, do you know what, we could rack up a proper cricket score here, but you got to keep it realistic, really, you know. Like if you're 5-0 up at half time, do you know what I mean? Like we got to make the right decisions as well, and we got to look at Brentford at Saturday. We got Porto next Tuesday. It's about just, do you know what I mean, bringing these other players in. I think like the guys have said, get them up to kind of match fitness over the next few weeks. Hopefully we can start seeing Jesus coming on a bit more, Partey coming on a bit more, because as long as we beat Porto in the second leg and do the job that we need to do, we're going to have a lot of games coming up after that international break, and all them players we're going to need. And hopefully we'll get Zinchenko back, we get Tomiyasu back. Hopefully we see something of Timber by the end of this season. So it's really looking optimistic for us. But I feel like that we are making the right decisions at the right times. But when you're 5-0 up, you can make them decisions.
Exactly. And I, for one, was very happy to see Saka come off. I didn't actually know he was sick. I thought that was just a rumour going around. But I was glad to see him come off because he was brilliant. But also, we've all been in the position where we've said, oh my God, get him off, he's being kicked, or he looks knackered, or he's playing too much. So Bez, were you happy to see him get a little bit of a break?
I'll say yes, but also surprisingly, when we have these substitutions, don't get me wrong, it feels like, okay, the player's sick, but surely something should be communicated via the club, say, social media, give us the fans something like, say, okay, reassurance policy, he's totally fine, guys, no stress. For a minute, even myself, because I was in work around this time when the game was on, I watched the first half, great, we had a wonderful first half. But then again, no communication to let us know what's going on. Like, could it be sick? Could it be injured? Could it be a knock? Could be anything. We don't know in this day and age with these footballers. They're a bit fragile, But with Saka, with our star boy, of course, you want to make sure he's protected, in a cotton wool, shall we say. But at the same time, some communication would be nice between the club in terms of social media, at least something, I guess. Unless he's, Arteta saying himself, he wants to keep it quiet for the big games coming ahead. We have a long month coming ahead after the City game. Again, April I know is going to be tough. Every game is going to be tough from now on in. For me, all I want is let's protect what we have. But also let's protect the bench as well, because we need ammunition. Come this busy end of the season, we need them to keep fire all guns blazing, and let's go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got to say, it was my favourite goal. Ben White's finish yesterday, I thought was brilliant. A proper goal from him as well. Looked like it was overstretched and was maybe not going to get a good connection on it, but he hit it perfectly and into the bottom corner of the net. David, what do you make of Ben White, and do you think he's really improving and coming into his own as well now?
Love Ben White. He's one of my favourite players. He just winds up everyone, doesn't he? And he doesn't even like football. I reckon if he gets called up for the England's, right, he's not going to be happy unless they're going somewhere hot, which I don't know if they are or not. But yeah, Ben White's great. That was a great finish yesterday. Didn't he hit that well? Brilliant strike. I was a bit gutted. The goalie actually got his hand to it. That annoyed me a bit, actually. I think Ben White's he's very underrated. Not many. It's just like Big Gabby at back. Not many people rate him either, apart from Arsenal fans. Just like they're brilliant players.
They're watching.
yeah, they're watching. I know it's really cheeky in that, but and it's a bit disrespectful, I suppose. But and I Arteta did mention it last season. I think I really wanted us to bring Ramsdale on for the last 10 minutes, just for obviously if we had any subs left, just even you could have played him up top, but I just thought it'd be funny because he's mentioned that before. Why not give him 10 minutes? But Another thing is, did Saka get an assist for the second goal if it comes off, if it's an own goal? I did wonder that. I wasn't too sure.
Yeah.
Do you still get an assist?
You do, don't you?
I'm not sure. You do.
Yeah, you get the assist still.
Do you get an assist?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But...
Still didn't help. The goal would have been better.
Yeah, I know. Ben White's winding up all these other players now on corners as well, though, isn't he? It's like pushed. But then I'm thinking, if we scored a goal from there, they'll probably disallow it. Like, was it like the Leicester goal last year when Trossard scored? That blinder, then it was ruled off. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good graphic there. I've seen that going around a few times today.
I've kind of messed that one up. Let me come out and I'll go back into it in a sec.
But just to touch on that, really, the records that we seem to be breaking, I know, at the end of the season, we want a trophy in our hand, not records, but the improvement that we're as we said earlier, the goals that have changed. The first team to win by 5 or more goals in the last 3 away fixtures. Liam, what do you make of that? And is it also part of like maybe the dominance and fear factor that we're returning to in our games?
Yeah, well, when you look at the 3 games, obviously West Ham was going to be the tricky game out of the 3 away games, where we've obviously fed a cropper last season against them, and obviously they had a good start in terms of the Carabao Cup and the game at the Emirates. So that was out of the ordinary, wasn't it, in terms of beating them 6-0 at their place, and that was something we didn't expect. Obviously, with Burnley and Sheffield United, we expect it. If we're being totally honest, we probably went into both games thinking if we don't get wins out of games, then we don't, so to speak, compete for the title against Man City and Liverpool. So I fully expect us to go and beat them, but probably not to the substance and the style that we've done it in my opinion. And as I said earlier on, it's not a fluke, it's not a freak, because we've replicated that against Liverpool at home. In that first 45 minutes, even against Liverpool, we absolutely dominated them. They got in our box in the 47th minute of that first half and scored basically a fluke goal. They did nothing. Newcastle did absolutely nothing. We've done exactly the same thing to them. So we're talking about 2 clubs that have got European pedigree this year. We know how good Liverpool are anyway, and that's what we've done to them. So in my opinion, the 3 games away from home have been really impressive. But I think the performances that we've had against bigger teams at home have been as good and as positive as well. So the eyes are always going to look at it. We scored 17 goals in 3 games away from home, which is incredible. But I just don't want people forgetting about the 2 home performances as well, because they were as good.
They matter as well, don't they? I know sometimes it's because you're obviously away from home and always against the fans that are in the stadium, but I think we're, as the chant goes, emptying stadiums everywhere we go.
It's
and it's just so
yeah.
good. The fans are all on board, as they always are, the away fans. But they were superb again last night, weren't they? And just really lucky to be enjoying what they're seeing at the moment.
Yeah, it must be incredible to go away from home and seeing stadiums half empty after about, I know yesterday was ridiculous, but do you know what I mean? If you're seeing stadiums empty in the second half, you know that your team's doing incredibly well. And us Arsenal fans let's be honest, we've gone through the rafters over the last 5 to 10 years. Some of it is out of our control massively. Some of it has been in our control, in my opinion. But we've stuck by a manager when we could have hit the switch at some point. We could have not backed him, but we did back him, and now we're getting the fruits for it. And I'm just glad that we did stick with this manager, because I think he proved from the very, very start that he was not scared about managing egos and managing big personalities. And in my opinion, a lot of people didn't reflect in that when they were criticising him 2-3 years ago. And he had to manage people like Mesut Ozil and Aubameyang. These are 2 world superstar players that he had to manage out. And I just think from the get-go, he's done an incredible job. It didn't get shown at the start, and there were times when you thought, is he going to get backed? But I just think, now you look at it, you just sit there and think it was an incredible decision to stick with him. And fair play to Josh Kroenke, because I was one of the people that wanted the Kroenkes out, but not a fan of Stan whatsoever. But I think what Josh has done in terms of since he's come in, I think he's done a brilliant job behind the scenes, and I think he's built a really good partnership with Edu and Arteta, which we're seeing on the pitch.
Absolutely. And just to sort of finish up on that game, I wanted to get your thoughts on. Obviously, it was a game to sort of bring on a few players and get some minutes in the legs, which we did, and most of the players haven't actually been involved for a while, as we said. But were you surprised to not see the likes of even Emile Smith-Rowe yesterday, Bez? What did you think of that?
Totally agree. I mean, if I'm correctly speaking about this too, the 4 subs being made, I would have said at least the 70th minute, at least give him at least 20-25 minutes, and he deserves it, don't get me wrong. He needs a little confidence push, because you can see he needs that. How can I say this? He needs the team to be in his, behind his back, support him. He needs not just an assist. I won't say an assist. He needs a goal, man. He needs a goal to just give him that new lease of life. You don't know, people say, I like Bukayo Saka is the DNA of Arsenal, but don't get it wrong. Smith Rowe is basically our DNA as well. He's an Arsenal fan. When he played for them that season, even prior to this wonderful season we're having. Him and Saka were literally all there for us, with like 10 plus goals a season. He was just scoring. He had that presence. He was like a menace in that box. I know the injury didn't help him, coming at the wrong time, sadly. But me, I'm a big fan of his. As much as I love Saka, I love Smith Rowe. I want the boy to stay, to grow a bit more. I know he's still very young. I was even there for his England debut, against my homeland. It just feels like, look, he's got still potential. Seeing him not sign for a rival club end of last summer, if it's true, actually made me more happy to see him. He'll commit to the cause, but please, if it's the Arteta in this case, if it's Edu, he needs literally support left, right, and centre the way we did, like Timber, the likes of Timber, sorry. He needs, let's say, I don't know if I can say this, but he needs some sort of push that makes him feel that he can be back to his old self again. We don't want his career to go downhill. He's still, don't get me wrong, is he 21, 22? He's still very young. His career can still blossom. He has, low confidence. You can see that. But he needs a little kick up the backside in a good way, of course. He's not a bad player. He's not drama queen, some people say. Well, I'm hearing some rumours lately. But he just needs a little push. He needs a little, support from both sides. Us as well, a bit of patience as well. I think we need to give him some bit more patience as well.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think I did see a few messages out there yesterday in the game to sort of say, well, he had a chance. I don't know if it was against Newcastle and did some. Oh, yeah, it was, and pretty much gave away the goal. So he didn't deserve any minutes yesterday, which I just thought was absolutely bizarre. Because we all know if you're sat on the bench week in, week out, you're only getting about 5-10 minutes here and there. The likelihood you're going to come on and put any sort of performance on or have confidence to do anything and get really stuck in is pretty minimal. David, what did you think about Smith Rowe not coming on, and also with Nketiah and Nelson as well not getting any minutes?
Yeah, not so. Yeah, I think I lost Smith Rowe, and I think it should have come on for Odegaard really, but I think because Arteta wanted to get legs, he wanted to get minutes in Vieira, so obviously he was the first one who came on, and then obviously there was Partey. Who were the other subs? Because we made 5 subs, didn't we?
Right.
Cedric came on.
Oh yeah, Cedric. Of course, Cedric. Yeah, he comes on every game.
Jesus came on.
We made. Oh yeah, there's Jesus. Yeah, so basically he just didn't get on, but it's a bit of a worry, like when we're winning 6-0 and he can't get on. Just to say, we scored our 10,000th goal as well, didn't we, yesterday? Ben White scoring.
Sure did.
Is that just this year? Because it feels like it. But yeah, so big shout out for that. But yeah, I've got a feeling that they're going to sell Smith Rowe next season. I won't be happy about that because I just really like him. But we will have to see on that one. I don't know what everyone else thinks. But yeah, I was gutted he didn't get on.
Yeah, and Brett, just coming to you on that topic as well with Smith Rowe, were you disappointed to see him, and do you think it may be the sign of things to come in the summer?
Yeah, it was curious, wasn't it? But thinking about it, it might have just been a numbers game, because he definitely wanted to get Vieira some minutes. He definitely wanted to get Jesus and Partey some minutes, and I think he wanted to make sure that Cedric is, apparently it's in his contract that he has to come on, so that just leaves one more, right? So I know, I was disappointed not to see him, and it was definitely in my mind when I was watching the subs being done. I wish he would have gotten some minutes. I think it is definitely a harbinger of things that come in the summer. I think he's going to go, unfortunately. But I mean, if we can get 50 million for him, I mean, that's pretty good business, other than the fact that I think he'll be missed. I think he's universally loved. I think all the players love him. I think all the fans love him. But at a certain point, I think Arteta's going to look at it and it's like, hey, is it fair to this lad that he can't get into the squad? Is it fair? So, if you love somebody, you let them go at some point sometimes. So I don't know. It will be sad to see him go, but I wish him luck if he does.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. I think we would all. It would be one of those that would pull on the heartstrings, I think. But when you look at it now, you think it may be something that helps us along to improve the team in other ways, maybe. But obviously that's a long summer ahead, so we'll. I'm sure we'll get there at some stage. But it would be nice to see him for sure before the season runs its course. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the game from last night, I think. If there is anything else anyone in the chat wants to bring up or any questions, do pop them through, because we'll just be looking ahead in for Saturday night's fixture against Brentford. Obviously back at the Emirates at 5 o'clock kickoff, I believe it is this Saturday.
5:30.
5:30. Sorry,
Yeah.
my mistake. Must be 5 o'clock on the telly. But yeah, we're a bit of a tricky game last season. Pretty horrible game there last season. I was up for that game as well. Liam, what are your thoughts going into it? Because they did have a good result last weekend against in the Chelsea game, didn't they? So do you think it'll be more of a challenge now than maybe what could have if we faced them a couple of weeks ago?
I think there's another situation brewing here. Like there seems to be a situation brewing every week where we owe someone something, and we owe Brentford for that home game last year. And I know it weren't naturally their fault because it was obviously a VAR error, which was a massive one, but it's another wrong to make right, isn't it? Really, and I think I don't see Brentford personally worrying us too much on Saturday. I don't think it'll. I'm not expecting like us to go out and slaughter them like we had done in the two away games, but I think we will have too much for them. If I'm being totally honest, yeah, I don't think Brentford have been that good this year. I don't think looking at a Chelsea performance against anyone, they're very up and down, aren't they? Chelsea, they'll perform really well against the bigger teams, but then against the so-called smaller teams, they don't really seem to produce the results. I just think at the moment with the confidence level would just overpower Brentford, and I expect probably exactly the same in terms of the way we played over the last few weeks. Either like Newcastle, the Liverpool game, these games, I just think it'd be exactly the same, really. Nothing will be too strong for them over 90 minutes.
Yeah, fair enough. Bez, looking at the Brentford game as well, do you think again we just go same 11, or would you like to see any changes this time round?
I hate to say it too, but I was there last year as well for Brentford one, and simply we have to make what was wrong, make it right, keep our heads as we are, keep the grudges to one side. I know for a fact maybe there might be some players out there who want to niggle our our energy, our positivity that is going around the squad, around the fan base, including as well right now, which is nice to see. I would say, yeah, keep the same lineup with a mind of please utilize the bit of the bench now. I mean, again, we just spoke about a certain MS Smith Rowe. He can get on and have a game. He can't even get on for like more than 20 minutes. Surely he can't have a little moment to shine. Let's put it this way. Again, I'm talking a lot by him because I've been over that boy since day one, you know. Without sounding a bit almost sad, but I just want to see him deliver that. As I say, okay, you bring in the second half. He's one of those you want to see more. Timber, of course, want to see again. Timber when time is right. Partey, yes, the same. Saturday again, I think, as you know, I'm sorry if I quote some future play if we do sign them or if I don't jinx anyone, but with Tony as well, we just have to focus on our own game. Let him play his own game, do your own thing, keep heads down, keep going where we are, keep the steady ship going forward, you know. For me personally, I just want to see the same mentality, the same unity, the same commitment by the fan base. But please, let's try and, as we said in the last one, let's make it, a scary environment for the away team. Let's make it loud. We can make it. Let's make it consistent. We don't ask much. Thus, you at least the true fans who stay away from negativity. Let's please make it a hostile environment for the away team, at least for their players anyway, not just for their fan base, but just let's make hostile. Honestly, I just want to see this become a fortress now after 16 years of being Emirates Stadium.
Yeah, that's it. Get the flames out.
Well, unlike Mackenzie 2.0, let's bring the flames out. Surely, yes. Why not?
Exactly. Really good point there from Guna Gathering. Sorry, it completely skipped my mind. There will be a change, of course, in goal at the weekend. And David did touch on it slightly about possibly bringing him on against Sheffield United. Obviously last night. But as much as that at the moment sounded a bit like funny to go and do that. That probably couldn't have been a bad shout going into it. He's not played in a long time, has he? So do you think that he'll be ready for this game mentally? Or do you think that the boys in front of him are really going to have to sort of support him through this game, David?
Yeah, I think this is going to be the last time we see Ramsdale in an Arsenal shirt, which is quite sad actually, because I do like Ramsdale. I love his character. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that because he's not played since the Liverpool defeat in the FA Cup, is he? So that was last month. But hopefully, he's got everyone else in front of him. He'll be okay. And like Liam says, I think if we turn up in this game, we win it. Quite simple, really. It'll be interesting what team he puts out for the Brentford game, which will show what's more important, the league or the Champions League game. I'm expecting Trossard to come back in. And Rice will probably go back as in central mid, number 6. So I've got a feeling he's going to make a few changes. I just hope it's not something like Cedric coming in or something like that. I'm sure he's got to look after the dog win anyway, so hopefully he won't come in. It wouldn't surprise me if Jesus starts if he's not injured after last night. So that wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah. I mean, he did look pretty good. He's always quite a flair player, isn't he? The Brazilian in him. So I think, minus some of the shots that he had in the end, he did still look quite sharp, I thought, when he came on last night. Brett, is that something that you would want to see? Or do you think keep the front line exactly as it is and keep the momentum going within them rather than put Jesus in and shuffle it all around slightly?
Well, I mean, I guess we're up in the air right now with Martinelli's injury. I think Arteta said yesterday it was a cut. It wasn't maybe on the boot, maybe on his leg. I think it's be a perfect time for Jesus to come in. His form has been terrific. I mean, we're not looking ahead past Brentford, but his form has been terrific in the Champions League. I think he's scored 3 or 4 goals in group play. So to get him some minutes would be invaluable, I think. I agree. Once again, I think that Trossard comes in for Jorginho. I think, but obviously Ramsdale coming in. I mean, I actually put it in the chat yesterday at halftime. I mean, what do you guys think about bringing on Ramsdale for Raya? Kind of got shot down a little bit, but it might have. I think it could have only helped. I think he'll be fine. I think if he's looking ahead, he is showcasing himself for the other clubs in the Premier League that are going to be looking for a keeper. So he's gonna have a lot of I think he's gonna have a lot of support from the fans. He's gonna have a lot of support from the players in front of him. And as long as he doesn't do anything stupid, as long as he doesn't have too much squeakiness on his wheels, he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to be tested very often either, so we'll see. But I also was at the Brentford match, the first time we've been there, and it was walking out. It was not a very good atmosphere. And we didn't even know about the VAR fiasco at that point, and it just got worse after we figured out that they forgot to draw lines. That was 2-point robbery. So
I think that's the problem as well. Sometimes when you're in the stadium, you aren't being told at all what is happening. You just got the big purple VAR checking this or possible this. That's what made it more frustrating, is it? We just thought, well, he must be offside. Or something must have happened, and we had to sort of take it on the chin until we all got back to wherever we were going. I think me and Liam were in the pub together, actually, I remember, afterwards, and just being completely devastated. And then up pops this thing of, oh, hang on a minute, there's a statement to say, oh, we've not done our jobs. But I think that also fits in quite nicely, doesn't it, with some news of who's going to be on the head of VAR for this weekend as well. Do you think that's kind of typical? That it's being put on our game, Liam? What did you make of that?
It's Howard Webb, isn't it? Yeah, I just don't know what to say anymore. Like the guy has been rewarded with being put on VAR duties. Now, if that's demotion, and then I don't understand, because he made an absolute high scrutinised error last weekend, which could determine the title where it goes at the end of the season. Pretty much just like we could look back ourselves and think, do you know what, 2 more points at Brentford, yeah, but we might have had a little bit more confidence going into those later games of the season with 2 extra points. But I just don't understand how Paul Tierney's doing anything this weekend. The guy should be stripped away and be not being paid this weekend to be doing anything, because it's that bad of an error. It could, and I don't think it will, but it could have replications in terms of Nottingham Forest season. Like, imagine they get relegated by a point. They're always going to look back at that game. There just doesn't seem to be any ownership in terms of their mistakes that they make. And when you think it can't get worse, it gets worse. And I think this season, we've seen some absolute howlers this season. And we get Michael Owen and Howard Webb coming onto the TV, and they think that's interesting. I would never switch that TV on and watch that show. How much you could pay me, because it's just basically covering it. They're just covering their tracks, isn't they? And they're just trying to make it out that they are looking at stuff and doing stuff. But 1 year down the line, and I've seen nothing to tell me there's any improvement under Howard Webb. So it is what it is at the end of the day. You just got to hope that Paul Tierney does do his job right on Saturday. But let's be honest, if we score goals, we don't need to worry about the officials. And we just need to worry about our game, finish our chances. Don't let the officials determine our games. Let's get the results that we need and score the goals we need, and then we ain't got to rely on anyone else.
Yeah, completely agree. It's business that needs to be done. And it can be done without getting those idiots involved as well, can't it, if you do the job properly?
And to be fair, quickly, sorry, we wasn't good against Brentford last year, was we? It was a poor performance. It was a poor performance. It was gutting because, like you said, we didn't know what had happened until we got into the pub. Bit like Brett, he didn't know. But we was literally bang average that day. And I remember when Trossard scored, it didn't look like there was going to be a goal in that game at that point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah.
So walking out of the stadium, Mackenzie was like, she's got an eagle eye for this stuff. She's like, that ball, he was offside. And I go, no. I mean, we actually got kind of into an argument, kind of got sideways. I'm like, no, the VAR looked at it. They drew the line. I actually said that they drew the lines. They looked at it. He was onside. There's nothing there. And then we get back to the pub, and then we saw that pop up on the TV, and she just looked at me. She goes, "Don't ever go against the family."
She had a good point.
We weren't laughing at the time because that was, I'm like, I couldn't believe it. I mean, how do you forget to do the one thing you're supposed to do? But
yeah.
And yesterday, how did we score 6 and only had one official VAR check? I mean, that's some kind
Which was the most pointless VAR check in the world, I thought.
Oh, it was absolutely.
I was like, what for?
I have they never did tell us, did they?
Martin Eddy got fouled for that anyway. He's the one who got brought down for Havertz's goal.
No yellow card.
Didn't bring it back
for a red card. That should have been a red card. That he could have. I mean, he could have easily. That's a horrible tackle. I mean, not even a tackle. He just got ripped down.
Bit of a rugby tackle, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. Terrible.
Just to finish this section off just slightly there, a really good question from Ian. Other than Man City, what do you guys think will be our toughest remaining league game?
All of them.
Well, none of them are easy, are they? Let's
All
be
of
fair.
them. Yeah, exactly.
But I'm guessing we're thinking, obviously, Man City is the one, isn't it? We've got, like I've said before, I think this is the time where we need to go there and give a performance that we can come away and be proud of and show how much we are improving in that kind of game. But Bez, what are you thinking? Are there any others that stick out to you?
For me, something tells me United will be up for a fight. You know them with our old rivalry. Tottenham will be up for it. But I guess, yeah, let's fight on. Let's push on. Let's fight on. But please take one game at a time. You know, I trusted this process. I'm all for it, but please, let's again, as we keep saying ourselves, let's keep the train rolling, or say the bus, because you're gonna sound like a parking space in a minute. But for me, I like what I see. Let's enjoy Saturday. Let's enjoy Porto. Let's enjoy a little break in between. Come back better than ever. That's what I want to see.
Nice. David, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, they're all going to be hard now, and but obviously the ones that stand out obviously are the Spurs game, Wolves away, Brighton away for me, and it doesn't matter. All the years, right, Man U have been rubbish, right? They always seem to beat us at their ground. Does my head in. Absolutely does my head in, right? So, but because I'm hoping we can win the league at Old Trafford again, to be honest, because it's late on, isn't it? I think even the Chelsea game's going to be tough because they are up and down, but they did get a bloody point at Man City away, where we haven't got a point there for years. I don't think we've won there since 2014. Was it 2015? Yeah. So they're all going to be tough because there's so much to lose, and yeah. So there you go for that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll just change it up slightly as well. It's another good question from Ian. What are the most disappointing points we've dropped this season? For him, it was obviously Spurs and Fulham. Both so unavoidable, went 2-1 up, 4 points thrown away. Brett, do you agree with that, or is there any other games that maybe stand out to you?
Oh yeah, when I saw that just pop up, and I mean, even if it hadn't said Fulham, it would have been Fulham. I mean, to drop 4 points against Fulham this year is just unconscionable. It's the difference between first play, being up 2 points and being down 2 points. We should be top of the table again, because what are they? What are they in the table?
Are they 11th or something?
Yeah. They're not terrible. But they're just middle of the pack. Should have been able to take care of them, being up 2-1 in both games. It just that's the one for me.
Yeah. Any different, Liam?
Yeah, the Fulham one. I just got this really bad feeling, if I'm being totally honest. If we do come short, we're all going to look back at Fulham and think, how we only got 1 point out of 6 against Fulham. The West Ham game was pretty painful. We've done enough to score probably 4 or 5 goals in that game, but just didn't have our shooting boots on. The Tottenham game was, do you know what? The Tottenham game is what it is. It's a North London derby. I think if Declan Rice doesn't go off injured at half time, we win that game quite comfortably.
Yeah.
So it is gutting, but I know the reasons why, and it was a shocking goal that we conceded, but it is what it is. I wouldn't sit there and go that kind of determine our season. I'd have to say that what worries me is taking 1 point out of 6 against Fulham.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think we can all agree on that as well.
Yeah.
The Villa as well, the Villa game as well. Villa away, we didn't deserve to lose that game either. And then obviously you got the Newcastle away when we got stitched up for the ball for that goal for VAR when I think they were on a fag break at the time, weren't they? So they just made it up. So yeah, and definitely the Fulham games as well.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do is if we can just go around very quickly and get a possible prediction for the weekend before we move into the women's side of the show. So also everyone in the chat, if you're still here, do let us know your predictions as well. It's always great to get a few thrown in the mix. We'll start with you, Liam. What you saying for the weekend?
3-1 Arsenal.
Oh, that's a good score. That I like that one.
Des,
what are you thinking?
4 would be nice.
4-0, 4-1.
4-0. Excuse me, because I did this. But sorry.
Sorry, we'll take that. David.
6-0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking maybe 4-1 actually.
Sorry, can I quickly interrupt? I kind of got quoted. Maybe if you remember, everyone asked me last week, and going until yesterday, I actually did predict 6-0 for the last one. So.
Nice.
So you bet on it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll buy you guys drinks when I want to meet you in this one. In this particular, even when I meet the American guy. Sorry if I forget your name, buddy. I'm really sorry.
That's
I'll
all
buy
right.
him a drink as well.
Ramsdale.
I'll buy him a drink as well. So including us. If I'm right on this, I'll buy us a drink. We'll meet up face to face.
Okay.
Nice.
Ramsdale gets the clean sheet. It's 3-0.
Nice. Not bad at all. I'm gonna play a bit safe again. I'm gonna go 2-0. I think.
I wonder what Ivan Toney's betting. What the score's going to
He's betting that he's going to be leaving Brentford in the summer, probably.
Hey, for who though? For who? That's the question.
be. Yeah, who knows, eh?
Yeah. Is that 11-2?
It does say 11-2, doesn't it?
No, it's 112, isn't it? Nil.
What are we thinking there?
That'd be quite the day.
Oh, that's why.
Oh, well, we've got other fixtures going on.
That's a stinger,
The
Steph.
Championship is on tonight, isn't it?
That's a stinger for Steph, and that is.
Oh, I think Plymouth are losing still as well, by the look of it. I saw it pop through, but I haven't seen a 1-1 yet, so it's not looking good. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the men's side of the game. So we'll look back to Sunday afternoon. The Emirates holding another fixture for the women, which is always good to see, of course. This was part of the package released at the beginning of the season. And obviously such a big game that it deserves, in my opinion, to be in a stadium like that, to let the crowds come in and get the atmosphere going. So yeah, we've got the starting lineup here, pretty similar to what we usually have at the moment, to be fair. Unfortunately, this time Williamson wasn't starting, but she did very luckily get a chance to come on this time as well, to a brilliant reception. And obviously, as a childhood Gooner, along with Russo, it was really great for them to have that moment on the Emirates pitch as well. We'll go to Bez first, because you were actually at the game.
No pressure. I was waving this around before you say
Yeah,
anything.
you got the program there to prove it as well. First of all, obviously it was a 12:30 fixture again. What was it
early.
like?
Yes.
Yeah, nice and early. What was it like around the stadium? Was there a bit of a buzz sort of leading up to the game? Did you go anywhere before, or did you just go straight there?
I personally went for a little walk around. It feels great that how we've embraced now the ladies in the Emirates. It's nice to see. It's very refreshing as well. It's very nice to see that we all come together in this, you know. We're all, with all the, you know, don't get me wrong, it still feels like for them still new. Still, I feel like they still getting used to it. You can still feel the ladies, the ones who've not played there before as much. It still feels like new surrounding for them. You know, it seems like they get a bit almost to say, not scared, but they feel a bit like, oh, I have to deliver. Oh, I deliver a big performance, you know. I mean, I'll get the players in a minute who I felt stood out, but literally felt like, wow, they actually enjoy playing this pitch. And I said to you the other one last week, let's alternate, you know. Sometimes the men, sometimes the girls, sorry, the ladies, excuse me. And let's make it balanced, you know. It looks lovely to see that we've accepted the ladies too, and it is nice to see this, that we make a whole, you know, whole unit, and it's really refreshing to see this.
No, that is a great comment there from Catherine. Would you rather have Fox back early or Sabrina, and Lacasse back sooner? All should be back by the Chelsea game, since that the CONCACAF, is it CONCACAF? Final is the 10th, Canada versus USA tomorrow. Oh, that'd be a pretty good game. Brett, we'll come to you. I spoke obviously with Mackenzie last week about Emily Fox and representation for the USA coming into the WSL as well now. What have you made of Emily Fox so far in her couple of appearances for Arsenal?
Well, it's brilliant to have some Americans come into the team, and Emily Fox is one of the youngsters on the squad. You know, she really hasn't shown like her complete ability yet with the national team, but she's going to be absolutely incredible player for Arsenal. I think she's got, you know, all of the talent. I think she's going to be terrific. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see the game, but to sell at the Emirates is just, I mean, just. Yeah, I'm so happy for the women. I mean, they deserve it. They, you know, that atmosphere must have been absolutely incredible. Next week when we're going to try to go get to Chelsea for that match, which should be another amazing, you know, atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. So it's the women. The women's game is just growing and growing, getting better and better all the time, and I'd love to see more Americans cross over to come play.
Absolutely. Just to answer her question as well, it's hard because Lacasse, I think we did miss her on Sunday, to be fair, a bit spark down the wing. But I would say Emily Fox, because she really has been outstanding. She played like 2 games in January, sorry. And I think she was already in like the up for player of the month. Which just goes to show how much of a good signing that she has been. And of course, we want them to return as quick as possible to help us push on the last chunk of the season as well. But David, did you watch any of the game on Sunday, or are you into watching any of the women's fixtures?
Yeah, I'm more of I'm a newbie now. I'm trying to watch as much as I can, and I watched most of the game. I went to the game at the Toilet Bowl just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Which obviously which Spurs won that game. So I don't know if I'm a jinx or anything, but I'm still getting used to the players and stuff. So, but I did think the game was a bit. I thought the Arsenal ladies were a bit flat actually. What I did see of it, might be they're a bit inconsistent at the moment. What I've seen as well, but but you know more than me with the women's game. But it's good to see games at the Emirates. In packed stadiums now. I mean, the women are filling up the stadiums. The men are emptying them, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, which is quite funny. But yeah. So yeah, I like Russo. She's a good player. Beth quality, and but yeah, I'm new to the women's game, but I'll get there, I'm sure.
No, we absolutely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Liam, just looking into it as well, we were saying last week about the sort of World Cup fixtures going into the Champions League qualifiers and the women's games. David touched on it slightly about us maybe not looking up to our best and a bit slow in the attack. Do you think that also comes from the fact that 2 or 3 of them, the squad had returned from Australia a day before?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of players out, isn't there? There was a lot of players out Sunday. You could tell that by the strength, the depth of our bench. But yeah, I think it was a subdued game. I think a lot of that is because the old Tottenham Hotspur low block, which is great to see them come up and try and park the bus. But I do think as well that coming out of an international break, it's always quite hard, and that's why I keep saying. And I'll just quickly go back to the men's game. Like, I think that we got Man City right at the right time because it's straight after an international break, and teams are not fully back on it, are they, when they come back from an international break? And I think you could tell that in that game on Sunday. And we done enough. We done more than enough to win the game. But it wasn't your usual women's performance at the Emirates, if I'm being totally honest. Like when you looked at the Manchester United game, we blew them out of sight in the first 40 minutes. It was nothing like that. I think we had to be patient. We got the goal, but you know what? Sometimes it is nice winning 1-0 and just getting over the line. And they caused us no hassle whatsoever. But yeah, I just think there's a mixture of obviously not having our full strength in terms of our squad and coming out the international break. And yeah, again, it's an North London derby. No one wants to lose.
Exactly, of course.
When did they get back from the internationals? Did you say they was in Australia?
Yeah, we've got 3 Australians in our team. There's a couple on the Spurs as well. But obviously because of the time it takes to get across, they literally arrived back in England on Friday.
Wow, yeah.
I don't know if it was early or late Friday, but it was on Friday. And then obviously you're going into quite a big game on the Sunday lunchtime.
It's too early for half-12. Yeah.
You can understand why maybe, and 2 of them were starting, obviously, in Caitlin Ford and Steph Catley. Cara Cooney-Cross did come on as well in midfield, but I think sometimes that does play a bit of a factor as
100%.
well. But
yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, so definitely, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? We would all be a bit tired if we had flown back, let alone having to play a professional football match.
Yeah.
Oh, Ipswich just missed a penalty. Whoa.
2-2 at the moment. That was in the 85th, 86th minute, I believe.
Oh, it's all going off in the championship.
G, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Someone who's new to the women's game. Who's the best women's player in the league? No, I don't mean just Arsenal. I mean, like throughout the league.
Probably Sam
Oh,
Kerr.
I don't
hate
think
to
you want to
say it.
say
I
her
was
name
thinking
right
of her.
now.
Say two.
I hate to say it. I hate to say it.
Same.
Because probably Sam Kerr.
Is it? Yeah. I can't stand it.
I didn't say that too loudly though. Yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
quick one. Without me saying anything bad about her, I'm not here to disrespect the lady herself, but I'm sure she's in the news, Sam Kerr as well, what I heard from last night as well.
Yeah. You would want to, without being the Arsenal hat, she is a phenomenal player, and you can't underestimate that. Despite playing for Chelsea, but it's not going well right now. Shall we say?
She's still injured, or is she in the nick?
Yeah, she did. She did her
Both.
ACL.
Both. Yeah, I know she
And,
got. Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, other things, but obviously we won't go too much into that. But to be honest with you, the WSL, they're drawing players from everywhere now, and of course, Australia and the USA have always been a little bit further ahead of us in terms of like the professional game and the players they produce. So it's really nice to see that. I think we said the other day as well, actually, it's not just the big clubs that are drawing these players to come in. West Ham are drawing some Arsenal, Australian players in, and there's real names coming across all different teams within the WSL. So it's only going to make it stronger, isn't it? And it's nice to see that it's not just the big teams that are stealing all the best players as well, because it gives everyone a much better chance and makes it more competitive. So yeah, I think we would all agree with Sam at the moment, but open to any other player to step in. That's for sure.
The Chelsea game, is that at Stamford Bridge? Is it?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's tickets available.
Yeah, they literally went on sale yesterday, I think.
Oh really?
It's for a week Friday, I think,
So
isn't it,
it's
Brad?
on a Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Can somebody send me that ticket information? I'd love to get those before we get on the plane.
Yeah,
that'd be great.
I'll send it to you after.
Can I quickly sorry guys, can I quickly touch on? I was there for the League Cup final, as it's called, the Continental Cup. And funny enough, Chelsea were leading, and basically Sam Kerr was screaming at teammates, give me service, without me swearing back what she said. And we surprised them, and then we won 3-1. Literally, I was in the Crystal Palace saying, being how small it is. I was like, wow, the ladies just completely, how the ladies, even the ladies, also ladies, really are so compatible as a unit. They literally play for each other now. It's great to see, even from that perspective as a man, from the other side, how we actually created a unit within the whole, Arsenal fan base FC, It's just beautiful. I mean, even on Saturday, as Liam said, I was there. The atmosphere felt a bit flat because, again, it wasn't. I'm sorry, it didn't feel that sellout crowd. You can see some empty pockets around, but I'm not here to talk about the negativity again. I'm just only positive stuff. It felt like surely but surely, please have the ladies play them often. Just enjoy yourselves. Just have a laugh, have fun, enjoy yourself. Play for the badge, play for the fans. It seems everything's as awesome right now. Everything's going well. As our motto says, Victoria Concordia Crescit. For people who don't understand this, we know victory through harmony. Please, let's keep going, both men's and girls. So, ladies, I keep saying girls and the under 21s, because as Edu said, he's gonna hopefully give us another big summer ahead. Hopefully, provided who we sign, a little extra few two faces. But I'm just in the way with the ladies. I mean, I'm a big fan of Russo as well. As much I like her too personally, but she's lovely. I mean, I can say to you, Kim Little, she didn't put her foot wrong. She reminds you like Odegaard at the back, completely in control, completely calm. One thing I did like is how I'm not here to attack her, but the way he just left the last minute. I think before this end of the season, like when you need someone like her, she's just gone. I was like, oh, that's a bit soon, isn't it? Just like that. Bit sad, but hey, that's life.
Yeah. Not really nice graphic there as well. Back-to-back sellouts, which is obviously lovely to see because the last couple of games have been up there, high 50s. But obviously last week or 2 weeks ago, it was the full set out. And again, this weekend, as Bez, you mentioned there, it was a little bit disheartening to see how many empty seats there were actually in the end. And also from being in the ground a few times at these games, there's actually still, at kickoff, a lot of people still outside. I mean, for me, 2 weeks ago when I was up for the who did they play?
Man United.
Oh, United game, sorry. It went blank then. I was, just because of travel a little bit, and obviously an early kickoff is quite hard to get when you're coming from outside of London as well. But they had run out of the tags for the bags. So we weren't allowed to go in without our bags being checked, of course. So they had to run them across from one side of the stadium to the other. And all these people, the line, I mean, I was lucky I was halfway in at this point, but the line to get in for just the bags. So there's things like that maybe aren't planned as well as they might have been for the men's game. And not to be stereotypical, but girls do tend to carry bags a bit more. So there's things like that, obviously travel, early fixtures, but when you're buying these, for me, I think if you're going to buy tickets, why are you not going? Because it wasn't just the top tiers, which you obviously sell out the last. Quite a lot of the bottom tier, you could clearly see there was groups of seats that weren't there. Because we were talking about it, weren't we, Liam? About thinking, I don't really think there's that many people there in the end of what they released. What did you think of it?
unless the bots are about again, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. Like, is it because people bought the season tickets for them and they're just not going? I don't know, but it's hard, isn't it? Like, you sit there and you see the amount of empty seats there. Well, I thought there was around 40 to 45,000 there. But I've been totally honest. That's what I thought by what I could see. Like 15,000 not to turn up for a North London derby that paid money. I don't know. Like, I know it's a Sunday, and I know obviously. I know like things happen and all that, but 15,000, I would say, is quite a lot of people just not to turn up. I think obviously looking at the optimistic side of it straight away is that they're still attracting a good 45,000 to that North London derby, and I think it's an incredible achievement that, as I said last week, what Arsenal have done over the last year, last two. It's not even last year; it's for the last couple of seasons, and as I said last week, if you're a player looking at a club that you want to go to, surely Arsenal's at the top of the list. And that's not just in England, that's like across obviously the world at the moment, because you're getting to play in the Emirates at least 4 to 5 times a season. If we'd progressed in the Champions League, there'd be many more games there as well. I just think that if you're a player now and you're looking to aspire, I think we're going to be in a good situation. And as I said last week as well, with Emma Hayes leaving Chelsea, I think next year could be our year. I do think it's quite tight this year, and it's a little bit different with the men and the women's, because I think we've got more games to play, but we're relying on basically Man City and Chelsea to slip up. And there's a stat that come out at the weekend that the WSL has never been won by a team that's lost more than 3 games.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's absolutely
you pretty
crazy.
much have to be perfect.
And that's what I'm saying. Right now, you're hoping that we got to go and beat Chelsea, and I think we can go and beat Chelsea if the manager can set the team up right. I think what we struggle with the team at sometimes with the women's team, yet again, is like the men that like the teams turn up with low block, and I think we struggle to break teams down.
Yeah.
And that was apparent again on Sunday, and obviously we got the goal in the end. But I think if we can kind of muster that and go out into the window again and sign some of the top talent again going into next year, with Emma Hayes gone from Chelsea, I think next year's the year where I think we'll go and win the league. I think we'll just fall short this year. And yet again, we're going to be looking at that West Ham game. Absolute tragic scoreline that was. It was like Birmingham the year before, wasn't it? Do you remember Birmingham?
Yeah.
We lost there, didn't we, over Christmas? It was 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That West Ham game's gonna come a cropper for us at the end of the season, I believe.
Can I please just say this? I've been noticing Jonas does like to make substitutions quite late, which is like after 70 minutes. Even me now, I've been following the ladies for more than I actually realized years gone by since Ellen White's testimonial on and off, don't get me wrong. But 70 minutes, he waits a bit, Jonas. Then he sees that Well, I'll take this one off. I'll bring this one in. But doesn't he keep a unit like Arteta? No, it's a different league. In all respect, the ladies' league and the men's league is different. But why does he make changes so late? You know, please, someone tell me why. What does he wait for? You know, Sunday after we scored, not that we dropped our heads. We can see Tottenham were like removed Jessica Nash, which was the most dangerous player. He didn't see that. He wasted the last second. You know what? I remove this one. I remove that one. I feel like, dude, all your job is to do is just bring some of the players early, utilize what you have. Because 20 minutes for most, even the girls, as the men's are, will not be enough time for some player to make a difference, surely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And another one from Catherine here. I think first and second is going to be decided by goal difference.
And we're way behind on that one, Catherine. So that gives you your answer.
We could have had that game to boost it up a little bit, didn't we? We talk about it in the men's, how vital it's now being and how great to finally see us up there. Obviously on more at the moment. But yeah, that's something that although it's obviously better to see games being a bit more competitive than the big scores that we have previously seen, it doesn't bode well when it gets down to the nitty gritty details of who's going to win the league or who clinches it above someone else when we are all at the same level at the moment. So yeah, that's I think that's also one to keep an eye on. Ian's there, but you could see on TV it wasn't full capacity. Yep, couldn't have been that big a queue for the ladies.
That's annoying because I tried on Friday. I tried to get tickets to go to the game, and on Saturday I checked again, and all they had was just single tickets. They didn't have no seats, not even just one, not just two together.
Yeah,
I really wanted to go to it. I just left it too late in the end, and to say there was like 15,000 not there or whatever it was, just it's annoying. Just sell your ticket. Just sell your ticket back. Then you get your money back if you can't go.
Yeah.
Laziness.
Yeah, it's annoying. And I know that's happened to the men's game a lot as well. People do that, but it's annoying because like I was really wanting to go to that game.
I think. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. Did the touts get a hold of a big block of tickets? I mean, and just weren't able to push them off.
You know what? I think it's more of a. I don't know if it's me that just thinks it, but when you look at the seats, it's not just a seat here and there. It seems to be like a whole block of like 5 seats in a row. Like the last game I went to, the whole row, there's about 6 seats behind me either side. It was just completely empty, and I was like, that's odd that a whole row. So I'm wondering if it's maybe schools or local teams that are buying tickets to sort of say, well, we could go to this game, so let's just get a ticket for a group of girls to go and watch the women, and maybe then just not being able to go. I don't know if it's that, because it's not very often. Obviously, with the women's, you can buy tickets in a group. I've often sat with Lottie and a few other friends and a Jonesy. We've all sat in a line, about 5 or 6 of us. So you can buy big blocks of tickets, which you kind of can't with the men's. So I don't know whether it's maybe that rather than touts. I think it could be maybe local schools or teams across the country maybe thinking, right, let's try and get our team to go and watch this game if it's possible. And then obviously because tickets are going out a little bit sooner than when the TV then changes it. There's some games I couldn't go to because it's then changed and I can't get there with work and travel and stuff. So it could be that, but as you say, it is quite disappointing to see, because then you see these big numbers come up on the screen and you think there's no chance. There's only 70 people missing from the last one where you couldn't see a seat, and now you can see loads. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? I'm sure it'll be good to see when the Leicester game comes up next month. Obviously not as big as game as some of the other games that have been put on there, so it'll be interesting to see how many tickets go for that. But I think they are on sale now, so if you do want to get it, grab it.
Is that going to be at the Emirates, is it, that game?
It is, yeah. It's an extra fixture that they've put on, actually. Other than the 5 that were originally agreed. This is an extra one that they've added, which is always a bonus, of course. I think that's the 21st of April, I believe, is a Sunday. So yeah, a good chance to grab a ticket if you can.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I think me and Liam as well were chatting through the game on Sunday about Kim Little and her performance. I mean, what a pass for the lead up to Russo's goal as well. What did you make of her overall, Liam?
Yeah, like I said, she did about 70 minutes in. Like she's the best player on the pitch, and she is. Do you know what? Right, she's so consistent for us, and she just gives us so much like tenaciousness in that centre midfield. She just literally doesn't stop running. She just knows when to press, when to pass the ball. I just think she's absolutely outstanding. I thought she was outstanding against Manchester United as well. And a team with Kim Little in it is a much better team than a team with Kim Little out of it. She's our leader. Honestly, I've got so much time for her because I just think she's an unbelievable player, and I don't think at times it's probably not noticed as much, is it? Because obviously you got your bigger stars like you got Fib, you got Russo, you got Bev Mead, but she everything that happens in that team runs through her, and I just thought she was brilliant against Sunday, and just fully deserved her man of the match. Well, sorry, player of the match. But yeah, like I think with her in a team, like you can see how good we can be at times. You can see why we kind of obviously can demolish teams. And that's why I get frustrated with us at times, and definitely the manager, because sometimes it just doesn't. I don't think he gets it tactically right. And I do get that we've had a lot of injuries this year, and obviously we still got Leah to come back full time. Like she's only getting, obviously he's back in, and obviously Fib's a massive blow now. But Pat is still quite a strong squad of players that we've got. Like, and I think we've done considerably well this year, considering obviously going out the Champions League early was not ideal whatsoever. But I think the World Cup was to blame for that, if I'm being totally honest. But I just think at times like he needs to be a little bit tactically better. And I think you're right, Bez, and things like substitutions, that kind of stuff. And if he can get better at that, then I don't see no reason why not next year we can go for the title and win it finally. Because obviously it's been a few years now. They've got the stadium that's obviously giving them a big boost. They are going out and buying the players for him. Like Russo was a massive purchase, and I just think he's got to win a league title now for me. And if it's not this year, it has to be next year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. It's also just another childhood gooner. Want to get your thoughts on the improvement of and the rise up of Lotte Wubben-Moy. Obviously with losing Leah and Raffaele obviously leaving the club at the summer as well. She wasn't exactly a starter, and I think we can all maybe agree that when Lotte did have a chance to play in some of the games, she wasn't always looking very prepared, and you could see a mistake in her. I think it's fair to say, but now she is absolutely solid. Some of the take on she was doing against the Spurs player in her own box, sort of under pressure, and just like, nah, I'll do a little trick, I'll pull it back, and off I go again. And she's really come into her own and taken the centre back role in her stride now, and luckily now slowly getting the recognition for the Lionesses as well. But Brett, what do you make of Lotte Wubben-Moy, and also for her being a childhood gooner, how nice it is to see someone take that role?
Well, for anybody that grows up as an Arsenal fan, as somebody that has followed the club, since they could walk, basically, to see her be able to, because that brings with it a certain amount of pressure, a certain amount of expectation to succeed. And then, to come into the club and not immediately take your spot, that's tough. But, to see her just get better and better, and like you said, she's locked down that center back now, and just seems to be really doing well. And it seems like she's only going to get better from here. So, I mean, it's great because, over here in the States, there's been a few times, I don't know if you follow baseball at all, but, there are a couple of hometown Cardinal players that could not handle that type of pressure of playing in front of fans and friends and family every game. So
yeah,
it's good.
it's nice to see, isn't it?
It is.
We'll always have the extra love for the Gooners in the team as well, because they wear it with pride no matter what.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, what we'll do is we'll just go to the chat. A couple of guys that have had to leave, but thank you so much for joining us and giving us some really good questions and got it all going this evening. We really do appreciate it. We'll finish up just quickly looking into the Conti Cup semi-final tomorrow night. So anyone in the chat that's still there, if you want to put in your predictions, we'll get through that as we go along as well. But obviously, talking about possibly losing out on the league and obviously out of the FA Cup, this is the chance to go and get the trophy that we won again, retain it from last season. Liam, how important is it to, I know it's back at Meadow Park, so it's a bit of a change up as well from some previous games at the Emirates, of course, much less a crowd, but how important is it to just get the job done and go through to that final?
Yeah, I think we'll get the job done. I think we played Aston Villa at the start of the season. Do you remember when we left it late? We was 1-0 down,
yeah.
weren't we? And we ended up winning 2-1, was it? That was two 90th minute goals, weren't it? But I think back at Meadow Park, I think obviously it'll be comfortable tomorrow night. I think we'll win 2-3-0. And I think we'll get to the final and then try and retain the Conti Cup. We need to go out and win it, basically. I think, as I said, I think we're going to fall short in the league, but you don't give up till it's over. And if we beat Chelsea, then you never know. But yeah, I think this is the silverware that we need to kind of retain first and foremost. And I think we'll get to the final.
Yeah, nice. And Bez, you mentioned that you were at the game last year as well. It was at the Crystal Palace's ground. So again, how important is it that we do keep winning trophies as and when that maybe we are falling short of the bigger ones, but it's still important that we are still taking home something at the end of the season?
Totally agree with you both. Keep the stability as it is, but also as well don't refocus, because every trophy that we do win, I guess, is like, trusting the process. But I just want Jonas to be a bit more ruthless in his decision making. I know I keep saying this again, but please, to tell him, look, you have Beth Mead there, you have Alessio Russo. One thing I noticed on Sunday, it was only a point, there's no criticism to him. I think he had Beth Mead and her name, I'm getting to he now because I got men's game stuck in my head. So you had Beth Mead and you had the Kedem McCabe. It was undecisive who's going to take the free kick. It's great that we have the ammunition, but surely can take, priority number one is either Beth Mead or is it McCabe? For me, I noticed something, I won't say it's a friction, but something felt not quite right. As a manager, you can't decide who takes what. Now, surely you can have some, transparency. You can say, look, option one is I'll let Kate take the first lot and then roll the dice, give to Beth. So something told me that, look, he's not a bad manager, but he's a bit in the edge, just utilize what you have. He's got good bench. He got good defense as well. Long he may continue. We can strengthen them up as well. I'm thinking if I was him, have some words with Arteta, if he wants to stand up a set piece coach again, benefit the ladies, game, I'm not saying make them all tough, but as well, keep it that way. Keep the unit up, don't ruin that what you have, what you build up already, keep it there. Don't spoil it.
Yeah, fair enough. I will come back to you as well, Bez, on this question real quick. From Jonesy, a cracker. If we don't win this trophy, should we cut ties with Jonas at the end of the season, do you think? Or do you think it's another, he has won something last year and we can see it getting closer? Or do you think, no, get it done and get someone new in?
I give him out 2 years. But it's fair to say, trust the process, even with this one as well. Don't be stupid. We're not a stupid club anyway. We've never been in these situations. Stability is important. We're not other teams around without talking about them. We're not here to talk about them.
I think it'd be very naive to get rid of the manager this year with Emma Hayes going. I don't think we need to be having change at the end of the season. I know what Jones is saying, it frustrates me. But I think if we go down that road of changing the same time Chelsea does, then it could have the same effect on us like Chelsea. Don't do that. Just try and keep the continuity and see if he does it next year. If he don't do it next year, then you would consider obviously saying, well, thank you, but maybe we need to look at somewhere else now, new direction. But I don't think we should get rid of the end of the season.
That's a good point, to be fair, isn't it? We don't want to we want to take advantage of Chelsea's change, because it will be a big change. You know, she's been there for a good few years. She's changed the WSL as much as we might not like her. She really has helped improve it, brought in all these players, obviously won almost everything that she can. Not the big one, not like we have. But it's a good chance, like you say, for us to keep our stability and then make changes if need be. And if someone else becomes available as well, maybe. David, I'll come to you for a little prediction for tomorrow night.
First, is it a two-legged semi-final then? Is it?
One leg.
One leg, even though it's at Meadow.
Yeah, I believe it's one leg.
Oh, really?
I don't
So
know.
that's an advantage, isn't it? Is it on telly at all? Because I've always tried to find these games, but I can never find them.
I will double check. It might be. It could be on BBC Two, possibly.
Yeah,
But
have a
I'll
look.
see if it. I'm not sure. I'll see if I can find out for you.
Okay, I'm
I
saying.
believe, I'm
4-0,
quite sure
4-0.
it's one leg, isn't it? It's just one leg.
Oh,
I think it's wherever it gets drawn.
So Chelsea's still in it, are they?
It's on BBC. I believe it's on BBC. Check BBC iPlayer.
Okay. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, the game's on BBC iPlayer tomorrow night, and it's also on the FA player.
Oh, great. Thanks for that. Yeah, I'm saying 4-0.
Nice. And Brett?
Jonesy said 6-0, so book it. Double.
Yes.
He it was an upset that he didn't pick the 7-0 yesterday. So I'll go with Jonesy.
Yeah, love that. I think.
Can I speak real quickly to Jonas? Yeah. I think we definitely we don't want to upset the apple cart at this point. I think the Champions League qualifying was an absolute farce, coming directly after the World Cup. So I mean, they need to do something about the fixture congestion. Like you said, we had two players that flew from Australia back to England on Friday for a Sunday match. I mean, they've got to do a better job of fixing the schedule. So a lot of this stuff, and definitely reintroducing two players from significant knee injuries. So I mean, it's not excuse by any means, because I believe that they've probably underachieved this year. But win some silverware this year, and if not, then like you said, like Liam said, next year definitely. Yeah. We can revisit it at this time next year.
Yeah, I think that's fair, isn't it? Especially all the challenges we've had, as you said, with injuries and everything. We've lost some very, very key players, which you maybe might, in a normal season, lose one, but not five to the same injury, and long injuries. They're not easy to recover from, but we're slowly getting there. They are slowly coming back. So yeah, when we have a fully fit squad next year, let's see how we do then. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Liam, anything else to add from the chat at all? Or are we all good?
No, I think that's pretty much it. So just obviously thank you everyone for coming on the chat. Some really good engagement on the chat again tonight. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. And just to let you know, obviously next week, due to Arsenal Porto next Tuesday, we'll be live on Monday night next week at 8:30.
Yeah. Brilliant. And we're also going to chuck in a new segment. We didn't do any tonight just because it came to me about half an hour before we went on. I thought, let's try this. But we're gonna, just to get involved with obviously our panel as well, because some of us have met each other for a few years, like me and Liam, or me and David the last season or so, and obviously some others that we haven't met just yet. But we thought it would be good for anyone on the panel or in the chat to send us match day pictures, whether that's a picture of your view from your seat in the stadium, out with friends, or match day selfies, as we all like to do when we're together as well, just to see everyone's different point of view. Obviously, we've got Brett over in the States. I know you mentioned a couple of Arsenal supporters group out there, so I didn't know if that was like maybe a meetup you all do here and there, or go to a pub. So we just thought it'd be nice to see everyone's sort of point of view on a match day as well, because I'm sure they're all very different and pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll obviously leading up to the show next Monday, we'll probably put out something to get some pictures sent in as well. You don't have to be on the panel to send them through. We can go through them if you're in the chat as well. So feel free to get involved with that going forward. But yeah, as Liam said, thanks everyone for being in the chat tonight and giving some really, really good questions to get us talking for a bit longer than usual. It's been amazing, so we do appreciate it. But obviously, first of all, Brett, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, G. Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure. Hope to come back soon.
No problem at all. And David, really lovely to have you on with us for the first time as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for letting me come on. Appreciate it. It's been great.
No worries at all. And Bez, thank you for joining us again.
Thanks for making me feel welcome for the second one I'm doing with YouTube as well. It's been a pleasure as always.
No worries at all. And of course, Liam, thanks so much for all your input this evening.
No, and thank you very much. And happy birthday to Pat as well.
Yeah. Well,
Happy birthday,
as I said, happy birthday, Pat.
Yeah.
We'll keep you up to date on the socials and we'll see you next Monday evening.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you.
See you later. Good night.
Cheers.
Take care. See you later. Up the Gunners.